I've been playing since I was 3 years old. My grandmother was a piano player who didn't really keep playing piano. So when she saw that I wanted to play drums, she would go to Guitar Center or whatever drum shop and see snares, and she would be like, "You want the snare?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she would surprise me with it. And you know, like anything else, if you're a kid and your mom is buying you PlayStation games, you're gonna sit there and play PlayStation. So she would buy me snares, and I would sit there and play the snare and play drums all the time. So at 3 or 5 years old, I started getting older. So I was 5, and there was this drum teacher. There was this drum teacher who was like a piano teacher. She didn't know who really to take me to because I was so young, and she basically lied to him and told him I was 7 years old, and he ended up being down to teach me lessons. So he would teach me how to play "Mary Had a Little Lamb" at 5 years old, and then from that I kept playing in church. I grew up in church. Kept playing in church. They didn't ever want me to play like offering or none of the time. They were real stingy. That was their hour to fame, I guess. And so I ended up having to get good to be able to play, else they wouldn't let me play. So I turned 8 years old. I'm at this crazy gospel convention, and at the time I was in there playing by myself, and these kids came in there, and they were watching me play, and I was playing this right here. I remember. So, I was playing all of Dennis Chambers' Serious Moves stuff off the video, by the way. So. I started playing all these crazy pedal stuff, and I was like 8 years old, and they were like, "Man, there's this album coming up. You want to play on this album?" And I was like, "You got to ask my grandmother." So they took me. So they ended up taking me to find my grandmother, which right now is absurd, and you shouldn't take kids anywhere. And so they take me to go find my grandmother. My grandmother was like, "Yeah, he can play on it." So I ended up playing on my first gospel album when I was 8 years old. So, which is crazy, but it's gonna get weirder. So after 8, I'm looking at Modern Drummer, and I'm looking at this Pearl Master Series drum set, and it was all sparkly. It was like probably one of the first HD pictures or something. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know, I really want this kit. So me and my grandmother, we go to Guitar Center or whatever, price it out. It was like $3,000. She laughed at me. She's like, "You're not getting that drum set, buddy." And I was like, "I know." And then so the guy at Guitar Center at the counter, he was being kind of funny. He was like, "Well, you know, if he wants to win, he can win his drum off, and they give you the drum set or whatever." So from that day forth, I told my grandmother, I'm like, "I am about to win that drum set." And she was like, "You know, you're 9 years old, you might not win it," all kind of stuff that I totally didn't want to hear. And I told her straight up, I was like, "No, I'm gonna win that drum set. You're not listening to me, like, hear me out. I'm gonna win this drum set." So I ended up going through all the Guitar Center finals, all that stuff, and I ended up winning by the grace of God, dude. By the grace of God, I ended up winning the drum set. So I'm 9. So then the next week, I think I played at like the local club in town. I'm 9, remember this. Played at the local club. They let me sit in with some band. It could have been like Rochelle Forever or something. They just let me sit in just being nice to them. They're like, "This guy has a lot of ambition." So they let me sit in, and then the next week, Dennis Chambers was coming. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Dennis is coming, yo." And so I love Dennis Chambers, by the way. So basically, I go to this club, and all the club owners are telling Dennis about me or whatever. And then Dennis basically let me sit in 7 nights of his gig at this club. 7 nights. And the last day, he was going to LA to MI to do a drum clinic. And he let me come to that. Next thing you know, I get home, and I had a box of cymbals at my house. And I had a box of sticks with my name on them and Dennis Chambers' name on them. I'm freaking out. So then, like, maybe I might have turned 10 by now. So then I go to Drum World, crazy. I go to Drum World and I'm just playing, being obnoxious, being a little kid. They can't answer the phones or nothing. Next thing you know, this lady walks up to me. She's like, "Are you the kid I just sent sticks to?" I'm like, "This is crazy." "Yes, I am." And it was Carol Collado from Regal Tip. So she was like, "I want to hook you up." So she starts talking to me. Next thing you know, I end up meeting a dude from Pearl after I just got a Pearl drum set. So I'm totally freaking out, and I'm 10. And then next thing you know, Pearl called Zildjian. And then it got nuts. And that's how I ended up meeting this guy right here. And then I was in middle school, went through middle school, I was playing gigs, playing like all the stuff I could possibly do. Like I just say all this to tell you that this was not an overnight thing. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even waste your time. So I end up, let's skip past. I go to high school. I wanted to go to Berklee School of Music because it was in Modern Drummer and all my favorite drummers went there. So I was telling Grandma, she was like, "How much it cost?" And we found out how much it cost. She was again, "Yeah, buddy, that's funny." You know what I'm saying? So then we ended up finding out about a scholarship thing, and then I ended up trying to do the scholarship thing, and I just played like I played. I didn't really go out practicing nothing. I just did what I did, and I ended up winning a scholarship at 15 years old. Mind you, if I never won that, I would have never been able to go to Berklee. So all through high school, I was playing gigs. Next thing you know, I ended up going to Berklee. I had gigs. I almost didn't go to Berklee because I had gigs. I'm like, I don't need to know if I want to go. Went to Berklee, went there for 2 years, met everybody in the world, left after 2 years, got a gig. This girl called me, "You want to be my music director?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, I feel like my life has been me floating on God's carpet, like through the sky. Like, I really don't know how I'm here because I used to watch I used to be in you guys' positions videotaping. I just, the other day, watching all my old school videotapes. And so, after that, I did gospel chops. I just did a video, woke up at like 7 in the morning and put any cymbal on anything. Cracked, mismatched drums, hat to the side, took it off one time. I didn't know what I was doing. I was waking up, hair on my face, all early. Then next thing you know, the Mars Volta, Omar called me because he saw me on YouTube. Crazy. He saw me on YouTube and said, "Yo, you look like Peter Tosh to me on the drums, yo. I really want you to play." I'm like, this is crazy. And so I ended up going out just to kick it, and next thing you know, I was in the Mars Volta, which is exactly, dude. Exactly. And then so I did 3 years with the Mars Volta, and it was crazy because I've been so used to like holding back because I was playing R&B and hip hop, but I always had all these paradiddles, you know what I'm saying? So I was holding back my whole life. And to get in a situation with a group of people who wanted me to not hold back. I used to tell my grandma, I was like, "I don't understand why God gave me a million flam taps and a million paradiddles for me not to play them." You know what I'm saying? Basically. So after a minute, he's like, "Man, play all over the verses. Play whatever." Wow. We did 2 albums like that. And we ended up winning the Grammy, dude. I never thought, I went to the Grammys and I didn't think I was gonna win, dude. I was like, if we win or not, I'm about to party and have fun. So this is just to say that like when I was trying to play drums for money, I never made any money. But when I played drums because I loved it, I always made a lot of money and I had hella fun and people loved it, you know? So it's just to show you that like your hard work totally pays off, and it's all about having ambition and like some kind of goal and not really ever letting anybody, including your family members, tell you no to anything. And I'm gonna totally play again right now.